Howdy, and welcome to another episode of Land Security Guy from Denver, Colorado. And we have a interesting distro review today, which is Neptune 2. Neptune OS. Yeah, I'd said that probably have a comic of Neptune 2 that I used to do. And Takeoff of Jupiter 2 from Lost in Space. So, yeah. Anyway, I reviewed this initially in the new Linux user reviews. I want to review it for its KDE Plasma, the way it uses it this time. It's one of our new series of the KDE Plasma reviews, distro reviews. So, let's get to it. Howdy, and we're going to look at Neptune OS now. And so, journey with me deep into space. As we travel through space till we find Neptune OS. Yeah, so we'll look at that real quick. We'll go to Neptune OS here and look at the default screen on Neptune OS. What it looks like out of the box. Yeah, it's got a nice minimalistic desktop on it. Actually, it's kind of color coded, so if you like you go to LibreOffice Writer there. See how it looks similar? It's all themed that way. Pretty cool, actually. Anyway, yeah. So it looks like out of the box. Now, of course, this isn't out of the box because I got a bunch of my stuff installed on it. So there's my Neptune 2 out of the box look on my other computer, the writing computer over there. That's what it looks like. But over here on my desktop, I reinstalled it over here on my desktop. Take a look at that real quick and see what I got here. Okay, you should see my screen now. Of course, obviously I got a different, themed it out a bit differently here. That's why I didn't want to go all the trouble to put it back the way it was and then put it back the way I had it here. So I have this, yeah, it's just a NASA picture, NASA photo I got from Voyager's picture of Neptune 2. Neptune, the planet Neptune. Why keep saying Neptune 2? This is what I got is this screen. It seemed appropriate to have Neptune on Neptune OS. Yeah. So we got this here. Caliber menu. Now this is different now. You notice before you had 3 menus, alternate menus. And now you have a 4th one here. Actually you have 5 menus you can use on here. Your simple menus have a new menu they've added. And I think this comes with other KDE applications. And then you got an Excalibur menu here. This is the one that's unique to Neptune. That's one it uses. Then here's the cascading pop-up menu. The application launcher, the one that they had with Neon. And then your full screen application launcher. Now I'm stuck with that Excalibur menu on this so far. So I'm going there. Yeah, if you click on it, you got your basic favorites over here over this side. I use this a lot. And you got Dolphin there, Thunder. And you got your cascading menus over here. That's nice too. So that's why I've kept it, because I had a cascade menu built into this new one already. Then you have simple reboot, log out, shut down over here. You also go over here to power session and get the same things. Suspend, those kind of things, lock. But yeah, it's kind of cool. So, what we're going to do now is, of course, we're going to go to, also installed KDE on here. Little hint, KDE is in the Debian repositories. I think it's the Debian repositories. I haven't checked with plain vanilla Debian yet if it is or not, or whether it's part of the Neptune OS repositories, but KDE is about as good as Alacrity. I used to use Alacrity a lot, but I can't get Alacrity on this Neptune 2 Debian. Neptune 2 is a Debian 10 based Buster, Debian based system. And yeah, so I didn't get Alacrity, but I could get KDE. And KDE, I like KDE quite a bit actually. So it's pretty cool. That's what I have on here. Also installed Rofi on here. So this starts up Rofi, and my shortcut key I assigned it to Super Alt D, and yeah, you can pretty much pick anything like Synaptic Package Manager, something like that. Yeah, you hit those three, hit enter, and away it goes. So I have Rofi there. Now we need to look at these infos that are there. Yeah, there you are. You see we got 5.14.5 KDE Plasma version. We have 18.08.0 for the apps version. Of course, I will record that, the other one wasn't there. Frameworks version is 5.540.0. Excuse me. Duty 5.11.3. And the default kernel it puts on here is 5.10, which is like two kernels back from the current one, which is 12. So not bad. Better than Neon on that part anyway. Yeah, the main thing about kernels, more update kernel you have, more newer, if you have newer drivers on your computer, read like it's a new computer with new drivers and stuff, more likely to have it in the latest kernel than that one. So if you had a hardware that might not work on 10, you might go up to 11 or 12 and try one of those and see if those kernels have it or not. So we have that going for you. And yeah, so also it's got X11, doesn't say here, but it does, trust me. Actually, Neptune has a combination of X11 and Wayland. Right here, Xort server and Wayland. It's kind of a mixture of the two, I guess. All your like all my Xort, like right now I'm on OBS on here, and it works with X11, so it works on this system. Any problems? So that's information we plug in our system for comparison purposes, which we'll look at in a minute. And we will go back and look at settings to what we have here. Settings. Here we have system settings here. Yeah, so you can see it looks a little bit different from the one that we looked at on there. You got this desktop behavior, I think is workspace something. I can't remember what it's called, workspaces. Desktop workspace, something like that, where you got your screen locking at. And instead of virtual desktops, you go more than 4. I think it comes out of the box with 4 on this one. It's one of the things of interest, the difference between this and the other 3. I'm not sure about Root Linux because I haven't looked at that one yet, but this one has the Windows boxes right here, virtual desktops right here. So you can click on those, or you can set key bindings like I have on this one. Go to different windows on here. Comes out of default with 4, I think, and so yeah, and right there. What I was going to point out was that the menu is right here, whereas on the other ones the menu is the second. It's right in here between this and the rest of the stuff. So I kind of like it better this way. That's kind of nice that it's that way. It may not be a big deal for a lot of people, but all depends on your OCD level, how you want it to be always in the left corner of the menu. That's traditionally where it's been. Also, I'll show you another little trick here I learned recently. I was trying to get my Bluetooth speaker to come up automatically, and so when I turned it off, or the screen turned off or something, and I turned it back on, when I popped it up, it wouldn't automatically connect up with the, I mean, it connects the system, but it wouldn't connect up with programs to run it. Try to figure out the internal speakers on this computer laptop were always popping up instead, which is very weak. You know, like a lot of laptops, it didn't sound very strong at all. Why I have a Bluetooth speaker for it. So I found out that you go down here to multimedia, and you go up here to audio and video. This is on this version now. I think on the other system settings for KDE, like more up-to-date ones, it's different a bit. So I'll look at that when we go over the other. I know the next one has a more up-to-date version of KDE on it, so we'll take a look at that there if I remember to do so. Anyway, yeah, you set your device, playback preferences for music category. So you can go to each one, notification, music, video, communication, games, accessibility. And you say your default, so I'll move this up to here. I can move it down here, right down. Oh, defer. Yeah, it's top one, so prefer is grayed out. So defer, if I wanted to make the internal speaker default, I click that, defer down here. And then it pops it down, so then that becomes a preferred one, the defaults to. But I, of course, want to prefer that. So I pop it up there, and it's default soundbar. So if this is on, it will be the first one I choose. If it's not on, we'll go down to this one. I need to, when I get this set up on here, I really want to set this, my headset to do that same thing. Have it up here between these two. Be the second option. This I don't want on there, and this I don't need on there. This one will be the last option, very last option. Nothing else is connected up to it. So that's how you do. You select these options over here, and you say which one you want now. Recording, you do the same thing. Like recording, communications. You can set this my good microphone that I'm talking on now, and this internal microphone of the laptop. This is the camera. It's real staticky and stuff, so it's not very good fun at all. So that's how you do that. There's your power management, energy savings, where you turn on and off stuff. Looks like things are checked here. It should be checked. AC power. Yeah, it shouldn't check these at all. Sometimes in KDE it seems like when you do updates and stuff, it changes your settings on you on occasion. Not sure why it does that, but it does sometimes. And all of a sudden I haven't had no screen was, yeah, that's correct. So I noticed, I don't know why it does that, but occasionally it does. So anyway, that's the setting menu. You can figure out where to go from there. See, there's still a lot of settings in the old version of KDE, but it's a nice version of KDE. I like it. One of the things I like about this system also is that shortcuts just generally work. I mean, there's a very rare occasion where it hasn't worked on Neptune, but version of KDE they use. But yeah, the other shortcuts I've used have been pretty bad in that regard. And so, like, I plugged a lot of shortcuts into here. Like, I got Control Q to close windows. I got, I already showed you Rofi menu I popped in. And you saw Rofi on this as well as most any distro you want to. It's in the repositories. You can install it, run it on most any desktop, as well as window managers, stuff like that. So cool, huh? And so I got all the key bindings I want that I like. Installed out of the box, move around to the different virtual desktops, and to move it from up screen, lower screen, that kind of thing, or vice versa, the other direction. So yeah, I like it. It works pretty good and cool. Yeah, I wanted to get a system that I wanted to get with a I'll show you that real quick too. I forgot to show you that. Yeah, I got a script. I downloaded a script in here that for the window manager KWin allows to do tiling window manager. So see if I got here, I go open that, boom, 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 boom. It does this to it. And then you move around and stuff you wanted to. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which key combo. I don't want to mess with it too much, but yeah. Yeah, you can move different ones like that and throw Q from. This isn't default out of the box, you understand. Had to install this stuff and had to set the key bindings because they aren't that way built in by default. Matter of fact, the one that opened up the this is controlled. See, now it's popped up in the top menu instead of down here for some reason. So I have a key combo that I push, move it down here to the bottom screen where it belongs, because I wanted you down here, bud. Yeah, but anyway, I super key and enter to bring up my kitty terminal, and so I like that quite a bit. And so yeah, you have to set all these key bindings, but I set all these key bindings. They all seem to work pretty well out of the box. Not out of the box, but they all seem to work. Yeah, they all seem to work pretty well. So that's a cool thing I like about this version of KDE that they have on the 6.5. Is that it's one of the few versions of KDE I've used that all the key bindings seem to work pretty well on it without any problems, complications, or not working things happening. So that's good. So let's go to the screen now that we've looked at KDE on Neptune OS, and we'll take a peek at that. Okay. And you should see now the KDE Plasma distro review spreadsheet, and we can do a comparison here. So KDE version, the Neon KDE Neon, which is going to have the most recent, most up-to-date version of Plasma on it, is 5.21.5, whereas this is 5.14.5. Now I'm not sure exactly how many versions back that is because I'm not familiar with the KDE version numbers, how they do it, but if I was to gander and guess, that would indicate that the Could be that this is the year that they comes as 21, May 21, 5.21.5. So this might be the version they came out in 2014, if I'm guessing. I'm purely guessing here. I don't know how to do the version numbers. That would be my guess anyway. And yeah, so that's the KDE version. Now the KDE framework version is 5.81 for Neon and 5.54 for Neptune OS. Qt version is back for 4, it looks like. 4 versions back. And I don't know how many numbers they jump over this. I'm not sure what these numbers mean here, 54 and 81. But they actually have 30 versions between this. It sounds highly unlikely to be 30 versions back. So I'm thinking they must skip some numbers or for some reason. Yeah. If any of y'all know, any y'all familiar with these numbers, you can post down in the comments what the numbers mean and help us all out here. So I'm not guru enough to know that information without looking it up. So now the kernel version for KDE Neon is 5.4, whereas 5.10 for OS, Neptune OS, which is cool. I mean, it's not the most up-to-date driver, so if you want more up-to-date drivers, you probably need to go to 11 or 12, but it's definitely a lot. It's going to be able to handle newer hardware items than KDE Neon would ever hope to handle. Running on 5.4, because you can always install a current, more up-to-date kernel if you wanted to, but out of the box is what it comes with. So yeah, X11 and Wayland, combination Wayland on KDE. So I guess as a compositor, they use it as a compositor to make things look nicer and theme it out more, I guess. And so yeah. Now the memory usage, I didn't show that, did I? Anyway, just trust me. I did that last time, didn't I? So 1.35 gigabytes out of 9.73 gigabytes, almost 10 gigabytes of data, memory, data space up there. And it's taking 1.3 gigabytes of it now. Now, as I mentioned before, I think the more it reduces down how much memory you have, the more it reduces the amount of memory it holds on to. So it's kind of, I mean, that's down to XFCE level almost. I've seen XFCE get down to 500 and some odd megabytes at times, but it's usually more up closer to 600 megabytes. That's pretty close to KDE levels, and I mean XFCE levels, and that was pretty good. Pretty good. That's with 4 gigabytes of disk space in there right now. So over here you have 10 gigabytes disk space. It's going to use more memory. Cinnamon does the same thing as well. It'll use the less memory you have, the less of it will use in one shot. So that's something to keep in mind when you're reviewing these. So that's memory you got, and you have the additions adds the Excalibur menu, which actually is a pretty good menu. I like it. That's why I haven't changed it over to the cascading menu. I actually like Excalibur menu. It's just cascading too. And the key bindings work generally out of the box on the Neptune 2's versions of KDE. We'll have to see what happens when the KDE goes to updates it when they go to Buster 11, not Buster 11. They go to Debian 11 from 10 to 11. Anyway, you got now some of the things. It's got a lower version of Plasma, which means that there's some bells and whistles that have been added since then, since the 5.4 version are going to be there. So that's something to consider. If there's some particular, when we look at the other KDE versions, if there's some particular feature you like that isn't on this version, that's fine. And you may want to look at one of the other distros if that's the case. So there's some versions, some things that I haven't really noticed any loss in bells and whistles that I like, particularly on this KDE version compared to other versions so far. But your mileage may differ. I think mainly it's more updated X11 drivers, stuff like that, things of that nature. Wayland's added on, I know, the recent version of KDE. They can handle Wayland better that way. So there's additions that go with that. So you might want to consider that. If you really love with Wayland, probably want the most recent version of KDE with Neon, or the next OS also we're going to look at has the most recent version as well. And I'm assuming that Garuda Linux also has the most recent version of KDE based on what I think I remember hearing about. Or we'll look at Sentient OS next time. That's what we're going to look at. We'll look at Garuda after that. So there you go. So that's KDE on the Neptune OS. Not too bad. I like it, and I really do like it a lot. Apparently, since I installed it on my primary driver, basic daily driver that I use all the time. And I'm probably going to keep it pretty much because I really like Debian stability for one thing. And I got this synced down now. They may change things up so bad that on the next version that I don't like anymore. But we'll see what happens. But right now, I'll stick with it until they change and put up or some new weird things to it. Yeah, I also should mention that this is a German OS, and there's 3 guys that operate it from what, according to their website. They're processing, doing all this stuff for it. So I'm sure they appreciate any donations you make to them as well. Or I've donated to them myself. And yeah, I like the distro. If everybody's going to use it on 2 computers, I should give some, help them out a bit, you know. So I did. That's the cool thing about Linux. You generally don't have to pay any money for them if you don't want to. But the bad thing is that they don't get any money to help them out. Whereas you go to the store and buy Windows 10, it's going to cost you about $200-300. Then you have this OS that doesn't work as good as Linux on top of that. At least for most of my programs that I like. That was Neptune OS. Next we'll take a look at KDE on Sentient OS, which is another little distro that's not very well known. We'll talk about that next time. And until then, subscribe if you have a mind to. Donate, go down and donate in the description link. There's a donation link in the description. If you have a mind to do that. Till next time, may the Linux Force be with you. Bye.